This is lesson 8.8 for course 2, and it's 3D figures. So on the top of your notes, make sure you write down lesson 8.8 3D figures. And remember, this is for course 2. So the 3D figures that we're going to talk about today are prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, and spheres. So if you want to pause the video a minute, you can copy down this chart in your notebook. I know it's a lot to copy down, but this will really help you with naming the different 3D figures. So pause the video and then we'll come back and talk about them a little bit. Alright, so the first figure we're going to talk about is a prism. And a prism has two parallel polygon bases and they're connected by rectangle sides. So if you look at this, there's a square on the top here, and then this doesn't draw very good on here. There's a square on the bottom, and then they're connected by rectangles on the sides. And in this case, the rectangles are squares. So this would be called a square prism, or a square prism is really called a cube. Here we have the bases are triangles. So there's a triangle here, and there's a triangle there. And then if you look at the sides, they are rectangular. So because the base is a triangle, it's called a triangular prism. So you can see here all the faces that connect the top and bottom together are rectangles, so that's how we know it's a prism. And this is a five-sided figure, which is a pentagon, so this is a pentagonal prism. And then this here is, the bases are rectangles. You can't see the base here. It's not a very good drawing of it. And then they're connected together with rectangular sides. So that's called a rectangular prism. The next one is called a pyramid, and it has one polygon base and then triangle sides. The pyramid, this is like what the Egyptians built. So if you think back to what you've learned in world studies, you've seen pyramids that the Egyptians built. So that's how I always remember that, what the pyramids are. So they come to a point. They're named by their base. So if you look at this here, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided figure. So a 6-sided figure is a hexagon, and it has the triangle faces, so it's a hexagonal pyramid. Here we have a triangular pyramid, and here we have a square or rectangular pyramid. A cylinder, that would be like a can of soup. Excuse me. They have two parallel circle bases. So anything that looks like a can, see, it has the circle bases. This is going to be a cylinder. Anything that looks like a can is going to be called a cylinder. And then a cone is like an ice cream cone. Yum yum. Can't wait for summer when Cool Cone opens, and I can go there, or not Cool Cone, Ice Cream Junction, and I can go get ice cream cones with my girls. So a cone just looks like an ice cream cone. This kind of looks like a birthday party hat. And it has a circle base, and then it comes up to a point. And the point or the vertex is connected together by a curved surface. And then the last one is a sphere, which is like the earth or a ball. And What that is it looks just like a basketball or the earth, and that's called a sphere. And any point that you pick inside the sphere, all the points are going to be the same distance away from that center point. So probably the hardest part of this is naming prisms or pyramids, but there's 2 steps, and the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to describe the shape of the solid base. So if it's 3 sides, it's a triangle, 4 sides rectangular square, 5 sides a pentagon, 6 sides a hexagon, 7 sides a heptagon, and 8 sides an octagon. And then you're going to describe it as a prism or a pyramid. And remember, pyramids come to a point. Okay? So if we look here, this is a pentagonal prism because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, and they're connected together by rectangles, which makes it a prism. Here we have a triangle base, 2 triangle bases that are parallel to each other. They're connected by rectangles, which makes it a triangular prism. Now we know this is going to be a pyramid because it comes to a point, so now we just need to name the base. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided figure, which would be a hexagon, so it's a hexagonal pyramid. Again, we have a pyramid because it comes to a point. A square base, so it would be called a square pyramid. And then here we have a rectangle. Oops. This one here. That is a rectangle, and they're connected together by these rectangles here, which makes it a rectangular prism. So why don't you try naming these figures on your own. Pause the video a minute and name them, and then we'll come back and name them together. Okay, the first one here, the juice box, is a rectangular prism. This, because it comes to a point and it has a circle for a base, is called a cone. This comes to a point, so it's a pyramid, and we can't see the back here, but this is a square, so it is a square pyramid. This is a sphere. It's a globe. Number 7 here, again, circular base that comes to a point is called a cone. This is called a square prism, but the special name for a square prism is called a cube. This has 2 circular bases, so this would be called a cylinder. Whoops, I didn't spell that right either. And here we have, let's count how many sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be a hexagonal. It's a 6-sided figure. It's connected by rectangles, so it is a prism. This has a triangular base. And it doesn't come to a point. It's connected by rectangles, so it would be called a prism. Well, that's all for today. If you have any questions, please bring them to class tomorrow.